Good evening, everyone. Guys, thank you for joining me. If you've just noticed that I've put a video up like a couple of minutes ago, guys, the last video I posted on here was one that for some reason didn't post last night. It was supposed to post last night, but it didn't. I've just uploaded it. I realized it had not gone on. I've just done that again. So, guys, if you want to go and watch that, I talk about the the cyanide spill, and I touch briefly on this monkeypox outbreak that everyone's talking about. Guys, don't forget, I warned about this monkeypox like last week or sometimes. I said, this is likely going to happen. I did a video on it, and I'll try and link that video in the end to the end of this video, and I'll also put it in the description. But guys, wild times. I've just been speaking to a few of my friends on various group chats. Now, it seems like things are the perception of one thing is happening in Ukraine, and it seems like the mainstream media, mainstream media are focusing on what's happening in Ukraine in the context of it's looking like the Ukrainians are pushing into this cursed region. But what they're failing to also report is the huge gains that the Russians are making as well. So although the Ukrainians are pushing into this region, and they're fortifying this region, there's talk of British Challenger 2 tanks being used there. I don't really think that matters to anyone, but, the media seem to think it's interesting. Now, the real story should be how hard the Russians are pushing back in alternate regions now. It seems like Putin's got on the phone and told all his soldiers, said, right, you guys need to take as much ground as humanly possible. But the reality is this has just not been reported. Now, as I was talking to my friends, and one of the things that they said is they think Putin is gearing up for a huge retaliation. And I didn't mention anything to them about this, what I'm going to say next. But if you remember from previous videos, I've said I think that Russia and Iran could do a joint strike together. So Iran could strike Israel and Russia could strike hard, into Ukraine. Now, when we were speaking about this, they said, and this is from the Ukrainians, guys, and I'm not going to hear this on any mainstream media outlets, but, the word in the Ukrainian circles is that Putin is waiting until the 24th of August. Now, the 24th of August is the Ukrainian Independence Day. It's when they, gained their independence from the Soviet Union. And again, I don't know if this is true. Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't see into the future. But that's what everybody's saying in Ukraine. People on the street, people who have an ear low to the ground, they're saying that they're all looking at the 24th of August, which is in 9 days. They're saying this could be the date when, all hell breaks loose. Now, this would tie in with the previous videos I've done about saying that, Iran is sending a load of missiles to Russia. If this happens, this could be an actual date that, people are working towards. But guys, like always, this is speculation. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm telling you what I think, and I'm telling you what I've been in my circles for the people I know, what they've been saying. Also, in the background to all this, we've got this crazy monkeypox virus that's been absolutely, there's all sorts of wild stuff coming on the mainstream media. People are talking about its transmissible rate, and I think what we've got at the moment is complacency. Because of what happened in the 4 years ago or whatever it was, I think people are just people are paying lip service to these things. And I don't think anyone should pay lip service to anything, until we have concrete evidence. By concrete evidence, I can also mean lack of evidence would also be evidence. In the context that, if these things are supposed to be destroying, our NHS, if they're supposed to be running havoc, go to the NHS is empty, nobody's in there. You kind of know there's discrepancies between these reportings. So on the face of this monkeypox, I think everybody should take it seriously. Why wouldn't you err on the side of caution? Because, if you are complacent, there's only one way you can go. If you are cautious, if you're overly cautious, if you are cautious and protect yourself, then of course you can dial it back. Now, let me just quickly read what if I'll share it with you guys. This is from the government website. And like always, in fact, no, not the government website, from Associated Press. Where are we? And like always, guys, the interesting bits down near the bottom. So this page here, guys. So for those of you who don't know, there was also an outbreak in 2022. So what's different? During the global outbreak of 2022, gay and bisexual men made up the vast majority of cases of the virus, was mostly spread through close contact. And of course, I'll put these links in the description. Although some similar patterns have been seen in Africa, so this is in regards to the current outbreak. Although some similar, so that's a tongue twister. Although some similar patterns have been seen in Africa, children under 15 now account for more than 70% of the cases. So 70% of the cases, guys, are children under 15. Now that to me is terrifying, because we all want to protect our children. Of the cases, and they also consist of 85% of the deaths in Congo. So let me read that. So I'll just say that again, guys. Children under 15 account for more than 70% of the cases, but 85% of the deaths. I don't understand that. Yeah. Okay, right, got it. Yeah. So basically, from all those that have died, 85% of them are children under 15, and from all cases, obviously those that have not died as well, 70% are children under 15. So, right, we're going here, guys. So it's unclear why children are so disproportionately hit by monkeypox in Congo, this lady said. It might be because kids are more susceptible to the virus, or social factors like overcrowding and exposure to parents who caught the disease might explain it. So we're still unsure really why it's, affecting children disproportionately to adults. So, hang on, guys, let me get back here. So that's kind of, the monkeypox thing at the moment, guys. I don't know how this is going to. Escalate. I don't know how this is going to move forward. But what I will say, when things like this happen, you really do need to err on the side of caution. Now, I know there's lots of there's lots of these people out there saying, oh, it's fake, it's blah, 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 it's blah, blah, blah. That, I can't comment on that. What I would say is always, especially when kids are involved, err on the side of caution. It doesn't, you can always dial these precautions back. The problem is, if you become infected, you can't then put the extra security on yourself, as in, your extra shielding measures. Now, I don't know if we're going, I've been seeing all sorts of wild things on X saying we're in lockdown for Christmas, and I genuinely don't know. What I will say, guys, though, just always err on the side of caution. Make sure you've got food and water in your house. So if you don't need to, you don't need to go out, because, these things could spread and it could get really, really bad. And you've seen I didn't want to put any pictures on. In fact, should I put one on the thumbnail? No, I'm not going to put one on the thumbnail. They're a bit grotesque. These pictures with these legions and these big pus-filled spots or whatever. It looks disgusting, guys. All right, and none of us want to see our kids, covered in those spots. It's horrible. But like I said, err on the side of cautions, and that's what's happening, guys. And I really do think that with regards to the war front, I really do think that Russia and Iran are saying, look, we need to strike together. It's going to be in our best interests if we both strike at the same time. So Iran will strike, Russia will strike, because that's going to give NATO and their allies less potency with their response. So that's the date that the Ukrainians are looking at, the 24th of August. Like I said, that is the Ukrainian Independence Day, when they got independence from the Soviet Union. And guys, finally, I want to just add this, because I think, I'll let you guys make your own opinion on it, but it's just something that I can't believe what I was reading. It's called the Great Iron. Where is it? Hang on. In fact, no, guys, I'm totally wrong. We're going to go to this next. Okay, so with all this war and conflict brewing in the Middle East, in Eastern Europe, Keir Starmer risks voter fury over fears Labour could slash armed forces budget. So it's come out now that, you know, Labour are looking to slash the budget to the armed forces. So there was a big modernisation push in the last government, in the Conservatives, you know, to really invest in the military and give more future capability and future capacity, digitalisation, communications, a lot of drones. But it looks like Labour will be slashing this budget. So the Labour Party has been issued a stark warning over claims Keir Starmer could slash millions from the armed forces budget yesterday. Yesterday, the Telegraph reported that senior figures within the civil service have been informed that the proposed cuts to the budget for science and technology and research and the development, which could amount to hundreds of millions of pounds this financial year. However, the Ministry of Defence has denied claims that the new Labour government is set to slash its research and development budget by as much as 20%. A spokesperson for the MoD suggested that he had seen a provisional figure, but not the one which any decision had been made. So, guys, you know, I don't know where we go on that. Do we think that Labour are going to slash the MoD budget? Now, normally, I would say only an absolute buffoon of a government would cut the MoD's budget right now, in a time when guys, we're literally on the cusp of World War III. There's, like, you know, I did a video on the 4 hotspots that could flare up. Ukraine, Russia, we've got the Middle East. I mean, we've got the Middle East with Israel, Iran, you've got Lebanon, you've got the Houthis, you've got Syria, you've got all sorts in the Middle East that could flare up. You've got China and Taiwan, and my favorite that nobody talks about, the Falklands. All these places could flare up, and it seems like to cut the military budget right now would be the biggest buffoonery I have ever seen, and I would think no government would ever do that. However, again, guys, I keep saying I'm not going to be critical of the government, don't I? You know, just some of the policies they've made over the last 40 days, you know, don't seem comprehensive. So I'm not going to say they're not going to do it, but I'm certainly going to say it's there in their realm of buffoonery, I guess. If it's a bad decision, if it's going to cost more money and endanger lives, you know, they'll probably do it. But anyway, guys, that's it on the MoD. And finally, what I was going to share, if I can still see it, yeah. This had me laughing, guys, and I don't know why. Let me know if you laughed about this. Where are we? So here we are, guys. Okay, father and son jailed after making £136,000 in get-rich-quick Argos iron fraud. Now, I had to read into this because I couldn't, I was like, what? Argos iron? First of all, I was thinking Argos iron. I was thinking it was some alloy, some sort of steel, or, you know, some sort of Argos alloy, Argos iron used in ships and aerospace. But no, it's not that at all. It is basic. Well, I'll read you the first bit. Father and son were caught pocketing £136,000 in an illegal get-rich-quick scheme involving steam irons, yes, steam irons, and high street chain Argos. So nothing as romantic as some sort of alloy made by an aerospace company. It was literally the stuff you iron your clothes with from Argos. So it turns out these guys, you know, they faked some receipts for an iron, and the iron was worth £400. Now, they bought these irons at a heavily discounted price from somewhere else. It doesn't really go on. But then they went back to the main store and got a refund for these irons. So they were buying them at less than £400, and, you know, they were going into Argos asking for a refund and can I have my money back on this iron for whatever reason. Now, I'll put the link in the I'll put the link in the description. But this is just, guys, it did get me, you know, I had to laugh. I'm not going to lie. It was funny, you know, the great Argos iron scam of 2024, I think we're on now. But yeah, it just made me laugh, guys, that, you know, I was thinking about these people, you know, doing this you know, I thought of Oceans. What's that film with the Oceans film where they do the heist, and they were doing, you know, these guys are doing, you know, iron heists. I don't know what you think of it, guys. It just made me chuckle. I hope it's made you laugh as well. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there just as a recap for today's video. Labour is looking like it's going to be cutting the MoD. The Ukrainians are saying that they're expecting an attack on or around the 24th of August. The monkeypox virus, just err on the side of caution. Whatever you think right now, whether you think it's real, whether you think it's ridiculous, whether you think it's not going to affect you, just err on the side of caution. It always makes sense to be cautious. You can never be too cautious when it comes to things like this, especially your health, guys, all right? You've only got one body. Guys, that's it. I'm going to mag to grid, and I will see you guys later.